everyone, this is Redkeekee. I'm checking in here at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for another round review. I'm going to be doing an in-depth analysis of the round 2 of Season 16's uh, Free-for-All Masters League. Um, we're going to just jump into a couple games here and just talk about the decision making and the game play in general. I'm just going to sort of go through things. I don't have a set theme in mind today. I'm a little behind here with the technical difficulties I was having. So let's just jump straight into a game. I decided to start with F6, which was a match between Persuade, Dark Flame Master, Fire Dragon, and Human Star. There's a lot to be learned and talked about in this game, so let's just get started. First, let's talk about the positions. Excuse me. We had Persuade surrounded over here, the far right center, Human Star on the outside, Dark Flame Master on the outside, and Fire Dragon all the way out here by himself. So what we could expect from these positions is Persuade will likely try to take the middle, which he does. Dark Flame Master will expand along the bottom, Human Star will expand along the top, and Fire Dragon will safely get all this stuff out here on the left. Persuade is in a position like this, Persuade's probably going to want to two-base push someone. Most likely the elf would be, the position that I'd want to take for a human player in this position before they can get to a full chim tech. Of course, that's not what Dark Flame Master does in this game, but we'll get to that in a minute. Fire Dragon's really going to want to try to hoard and get as many. In a position like this, Fire Dragon's going to want to hoard and get as many mines as soon as possible to try to get a gold advantage and take advantage of his far position. Meanwhile, scouting all three of these and keeping an eye on what's going on to them. In this position, most likely it's going to be a fight between a Human Star and Fire Dragon based on positions, and Persuade and Dark Flame Master because Yellow and Gray will be competing for these three expansions up here. And Persuade will most likely, as I said, would most likely be interested in breaking out on the elf player to open up this whole down bottom section here to his expansion. So let's get going. Just going to jack up the speed here a little bit so we can get to some of the action. Persuade opens AM. And so here's what we see. The first thing we see is Persuade's going to expand center, which is exactly what you would expect from somebody surrounded on this map. He decides to take that. We'll see if it's a good decision because it's not, it's most likely not going to be contested by his neighbors who aren't looking to rush into a surround necessarily, although it's not necessarily a bad idea. Here we have Dark Flame Master expanding towards Persuade. Now, in this position, if I were Persuade and I scouted this, somebody on the outside of a surround expanding towards me on this map would indicate that person is looking to fight me. So sort of a telltale sign for Persuade to get ready to fight an elf army and keep his scouts on this player heavily. Let's keep going here. Gets an arcane tower and a guard tower up for that skelly rush that he dealt with the first thing here. We get dual barracks plus blacksmith, double blacksmith. Not sure about double blacksmith with only one expand, but it is effective. He's complaining that he didn't get too many creeps. This expansion, see, here's the timing. Let's talk a little bit about timing when you're trying to break out. If he's gonna two-base push, pumping right about now would probably be best. He starts getting his rifles up, his arcane sanctum, so things are looking okay. But ultimately, in Persuade's situation, it's try to get a second and third expansion up and be ready to outgold the elf, or just be pushing him right about now, getting that getting that jump on him while he's still putting up expands and using gold and creeping. But at level 4 Dark Ranger already is going to be difficult with only 3-1 heroes, so let's keep going. Another interesting thing to notice is that Human Star chooses to expand all the way up to Fire Dragon's main base, which is um, sort of risky. Might piss him off. He does attack here, but Human Star uses some chat to get him to go away. Fire Dragon in this game really does a disappointing job of expanding to his fullest potential. He's left all the way by himself, all the way out here doing nothing, but he has 200 gold to Persuade, who only has 2 mines, 1500, Human Star 1700, Dark Flame Master 1500. He has all this, he's completely left alone, and he should have at least 3 expansions up by now. He just, mass expand, there's no reason not to, or at least he should be starting a third, but he just has one expand really far from his base, which is fine. Expanding far from your base first puts you in a position to drain the further mine, which is harder to protect sooner. But these 2 expansions, there's no excuse. They need to be up right now. So it looks like, alright, so let's get over here for a battle with Dark Flame Master and Persuade. He comes in, he's got a lore army, which Persuade may or may not have been expecting. I didn't check to see whether he scouted this or not. He's got some bears sitting out doing nothing. But yeah, Dark Flame Master executes a rush on him. Human Star coming in, sniping some experience. Uh, Persuade defends this first push a little bit, um, but there's going to be too much. There's too much of a gold disparity with Dark Flame Master's 4 mines to his 3. And with just the lore army sort of power and human levels, and hero levels advantage. Level 3 Pandarian Brewmaster is going to really cause an issue here for the Rifleman army. We have a decent fight here for Persuade. He does end up taking this fight, but he drains all his gold, and Dark Flame Master has 2k to play with here. So, while Persuade isn't necessarily getting out microed, or outplayed per se. He does just run out of gold. He fends as best he can, but in this situation, if he was looking to push the elf, he either waited too long or didn't get the same amount of expansions up. Wasn't ready to go here. This tank sort of sits here. He does do some good tank versus expanse while he's fighting, but it's just there's too much banked already for Dark Flame Master, so the fights start going downhill here for him, and that's about how it went. So he gets knocked out, and Dark Flame Master gets some nice levels. Fire Dragon is fighting the human here, and we have some good fights. We've got sort of an 80, well, he's at 81, he needs to drop. One of the very important things that you gotta watch as free-for-all players if you're gonna go. Well, it looks like he had the intention perhaps of going above, but he finally does drop. But every second that you spend at 81 is really just, it's a huge mistake. It's taking away precious resources that you're really going to need. But he does manage to out-micro Human Star here pretty badly. Level 1 Paladin, Level 1 Mountain King, Level 4 Archmage to the 5-4-3, 5-4-1 for Fire Dragon. Persuade clinging to life here with trying to make a Griffin army in the center, but his main's going to fall any minute now. Let's tune back into what's going on over here. Fire Dragon's showing aggression on this expansion, which is fine. We get a TP here from Human Star and a TP out from Fire Dragon, so some equal fights here. Got 1k for Human Star and basically no gold for Fire Dragon. That was sort of the delay in expanding that I talked about led to this situation for him. But he does end up fending. Persuade putting up a bunch of towers to protect against those lures. I probably would have, in his position, it might have been smart to put up some more towers over here at this expansion, because when he gets stuck, as he does, on just one base here, it's sort of hard. He does have mass teleport, so if he could have gotten his tank army, gotten his castle up, he upgrades it here, and kept this base advantage and just stayed at 50, but it's really kind of hard because Dark Flame Master knows that he needs to end Persuade to put himself in the best position. He doesn't want to get 3v1 for having super high heroes. He's got Charm already. Human Star and Fire Dragon doing some more fighting. Some good fights for Fire Dragon here. He seems to do well against Human with Orc. Tower in the main. Human Star as well. Human Star staying under 80, getting 5k just while fighting. It's great to stay at 80 if you can fight at 80 and get some gold while you're fighting. Um, it's optimal. Dark Flame Master going ahead and expanding all along the bottom, getting as much as getting as much gold as he can while finishing off Persuade to the best of his ability. All these towers make it somewhat difficult to finish off with a lore army. He's gonna have to get his chims in here, which he does, to take these towers out from long range. Persuade has 2k gold, and Blizzard. So Fire Dragon, at this point in the game, just needs to catch up on resources. Human Star has gone 100. I guess he's looking to really put a dent in Fire Dragon here, who is still 80. We'll see if... Can't recall if he notices right away that he is at... Yeah, he sees that it's 100. And he decides to break as well. But this is great news for Dark Flame Master, who's now going 100. I lied. I forgot about that. But he's in a position where they're both draining all their gold on each other. And they don't... Either they don't know or they don't care. Either way, they're not really paying much attention to the fact that Persuade's dying. Of course, later we have a smart move from Fire Dragon, which is to finish Persuade, get some experience, but most importantly, eliminating that fourth player when you're in first place, or when you're in a position to when you're in the strongest position is an incredibly important move to make. Persuade staying 50, of course, that's very smart. Dark Flame Master getting his Ancient of Wars positioned around his expansion to prevent some tanks. Human Star calls for DFM to go for the Orc, who has now gone to 50. Still fighting DFM. Looks like Human Star is taking an opportunity to hit Dark Flame Master here, which, that's not an unreasonable move. He's got, he tomed over Persuade here, so and he's 80, so attacking an elf, trying to put a dent in somebody that is killing somebody that could help you with these high heroes, that's totally fine. I don't have any problem with that move from Human Star, and he's still got plenty of mines. He's still mining up to 5k, but FD is getting a huge gold advantage here. He's up to 10k. He's been at 50 for a while now. They need to scout this now and either force him to break, or, well, he does break because he goes to fight Persuade here, finish him off like I was talking about before, which is fine. But really, Human Star and DFM at this point really just have no idea that Fire Dragon had been at 50 for so long. They don't call him on it. They don't try to force him to break. They just are fighting, which is what it is. Dark Flame Master has 6k, so does Human Star. Fire Dragon's still at 11. He's at 71, finishing off Persuade. Really, I don't see a reason why he should be 71 here, I guess, except to show that he's not at 50, which can be worth it sometimes. You don't want anybody to know when you're 50, so anything you can do to hide that is good. But he doesn't need an army of 71 here to kill Persuade, so a riskier move would be to drop at this point, but looks like Persuade is hiding. We've got some more fights. Dark Flame Master does some great So has some great fights here. Tries not to lose too many gems. I forgot how many he lost. Um, versus tanks and mass teleport. Always no fun. Human Star now is going to do his token move, which is pretend to be dead, stay 50, and mine up as much as he can. He has 5k left. As soon as he gets 5k, he usually drops to 50 and pretends to be dead. At least that's the trend I've noticed for this player. One of the things that Dark Flame Master, I sort of had a brief chat with him after this game, was he said, I've seen Humi's replays. I noticed that he does this a lot. I don't want him to just come in and swoop in at the end of the game with 5k and kill us all. I know he's 50. So what ends up happening here is there's a position where Fire Dragon's at 16k almost, and Humi and Dark Flame Master both have practically no gold, and DFM continues to lay into Human Star, lay into him, never gives up on him until he is dead, which then puts him in a tough position to fight Fire Dragon with such a gold disparity. But uh, it ends up working out for him, but we'll get to that in a minute. Hoarding and tanking, he's calling it. Dark Flame Master is not fooled by this play at all. Um, I mean, this is a perfectly smart move for Humi. It works a lot of times, but Dark Flame Master is basically going to pressure him to break, and he's not going to, and that's eventually going to end up, yeah, massing gold, flaning death. Look at my hero's yours. He's trying to. There's some counter manip here. There's some chat, um, but ultimately Dark Flame Master knows this guy's got gold. He doesn't care about the orc for whatever reason. Um, And yeah, I mean when your bluff is called in a position like this, Human Star, his bluff is called. Dark Flame Master knows that that he's not in a position. So if he had broken here, gone 80, shown Dark Flame Master that he's using his gold, and then teamed the orc, he might not have gotten killed. Fought to death by the elf. But he comes in here and he's trying to do more damage while at 50 food, and this just infuriates Dark Flame Master some more. And at some point here, it almost looks like a suicide. Why is this retard suiciding? Some chat here. Um, but it's sort of hard to. It's hard. He takes out the castle, which is good. 6k. Nothing to do with. No tanks are going to be able to be built with the castle here. Great move. But it's at this point that people are going to start calling for, why aren't you turning on the guy that has 16k? Fire Dragon is staying at 80 here, um, which is fine. Really, they should have turned on him already if this was played out, quote unquote, by the books. But, if they see him at 50, it's just too obvious. Too obvious, and they're ignoring him, and for all he cares, he can just sit here at 80 and look non-menacing. He has great heroes. Um, the Human Star just refuses to break, and DFM goes 100. Says, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to go for the orc, I'm just going to keep bashing on this guy, because he won't break. But he has no castle yet, so he can't break. But now the castle's up, and if a Human Star was smart here, he would have... he's building his army here. But he changes his mind and stays 50. Yeah. And so it's at this point, Dark Flame Master is down to 4k at 62 food. Human Star is at 2.8k with 38 food. And we have Fire Dragon over here with 15k and almost 80 food. So there's really no... In most situations, this would be the point of no return. If they don't turn... I would call this the point of no return. It's what I like to refer to the moment in time where there are three players. One player is so far ahead that if they don't turn at this point and team him and both go for him, he's sure to win. Um, this is what I would call the point of no return. They have no way to go. He has no way to go 80 even, and he has one last army. He does have great heroes, but you know 16k orc with good heroes, 775, um, is not something that, I mean, it's possible that, at this point, they may be able to team him out. Um, but this is really the no point of no return. And Fire Dragon's going to come in, do some fighting here, TP out. Human Stars losing more and more gold. DFM is sitting 100 with 2k gold. Not mining, which is smart here. Excuse me. Ooh. Not mining, which is smart here. He's going to wait until he's at a lower upkeep. But he's sort of contemplating what's he going to do here. Got some trees hiding. Scouting with this Hippogriff. And FD is going to come in here and try to end the weakest, which is what you would do in the first place. First in the best position. That's what you're going to want to do. Yeah, and then Dark Flame Master's going to stab. And at this position, it looks like, most players this position would go, okay, came in, attacked him, and then let's go for the orc together. He has no gold, and he has 40 food to his 100, and he has no gold whatsoever. So, at this point, if it were me, I'd say let's go the orc. This is our last chance to take care of his 16k gold, or 9k now. He lost a lot of food versus Human Star. I would have sort of chipped away and sort of helped DFM a little bit more. But anyway, moving along. That's not what he decides to do. He says, you know what? I don't like this human. I'm just going to kill him. He starts over here. And he says, I'm going to come over here. I'm probably going to fight this orc. Let's see. But Human Stars attacked me. Screw it. Kills off these tanks. Paladin's running about. Almost a nice move here. But yeah, Human Star pushed him too far. He's pissed. He's got 8k gold. He is going to put this tree back up and try to mine. But he's got 800, or he has 400 gold now. To Human Star's nothing. To Fire Dragon's 5k, which is respectable. But he says, you know what? Screw this human. I'm just going to come in and kill him. But yeah, I mean, Human Star, DFM was most likely on his way over here to fight the orc, but yeah, Human Star hit him for reasons passing understanding. I'd say that's probably one of the biggest mistakes Human Star made this game. He was finally weak enough where DFM wasn't gunning for him, uh, but DFM finishes him. And I don't blame him. Finishing him in this position and trying to fight the orc with one last 100 food army, or 80 food army. Um, you know, Fire Dragons used a lot of gold just helping. When these two are continuing to attack one another, all you want to do is sort of pick away and help a little bit. So Human Star leaves, and we are now in a position where Dark Flame Master has 72 food and 157 gold and no mines. And Fire Dragon has 100 food and 3,600 gold with ridiculously high heroes. But DFM has high heroes too. So what are we going to see here? Ultimately, it's going to be micro and army fail because, yeah, he needed more bats, and he's not gonna, if he's gonna do the kind of batting that he does, TFM moves over his tree to mine some more, and this batting, really, yeah, it's just micro fail at this point. These wyverns are just gonna get taken down by breath of fire, and just lose the Tower Chieftain here. There's no TP on it. And he's going to eat up all his gold. He's down to 54. It's just micro fail. I mean, Wyverns versus this army, there's really no need. There's really no need. You just get enough bats to kill the chimeras, and then the AA is useless, does nothing. Dark Flame Master comes in here with 59 food to his 84, but all these wyverns are just practically useless. I mean, an orc in this position wants to pump. I mean, the wyverns could be useful if you had. Nah, you want to bat. You want to bat the chims and then focus. Use your heroes, your overpowered orc heroes, to take down the elves heroes, and the AA will just run around doing nothing. But instead, we see this pitiful display. Boff. Dark Flame Masters. Dark Ranger gets focused to death, and all of his air dies. There's no kiting. There's no. See, here's the finally he decides to kite, but he's lost heroes. The chims are all still alive. I mean, if you're gonna play Wivs, you've gotta play. You've gotta kite back, focus down a chim. Fight back, kite back, focus down a chim. Kite back, focus down a chim. Um, this was awful. No offense, buddy, but that was pretty bad. He did disclaim that he was planning on playing elf. He picked orc by accident or something, um, or went random by accident or something. I can't recall, but pick elf, and that was sort of it. So he's pillaging here, but that's how that replay goes. So that was F6, and yeah, just Fire Dragon was in a great position to win, but micro fail. Sort of what it came down to. Let's jump into F5 next. Talk a little bit about this. So, positions. We have another position, sort of like this, only slightly different. We've got J33 surrounded here in the bottom left, next to Megadansky on the outside, and Fail Life on the other side. Gears is all the way out here on the right, by himself. Oh, so alone. Oh, so perfect. Exactly what you want. But yeah, J33's in a rough position here. He's next to reigning champion Megadansky and solid micro player Fail Life, who is new, but he's in a rough position. Like Persuade, he would want to in the last game he would want to take these center mines if possible. Gears is going to want to expand as much as possible as quickly as possible. Megadansky's going to want to go here and probably fight Gears or Horde, and Fail Life is going to be in a similar position because of this formation here. So let's get going and see exactly what unfolds. We have BM open for both orcs. Dark Ranger open for J33. J33 is going to expand. And first point of business. Fail Life takes the inside expo, even though he's on the outside. This is going to put J33 in even a tighter spot. Mag is expanding, Gears expanding, all good. J33 is going to come in here to try to take his second expansion, see that Fail Life is here, and run away. Because, who wants to fight an orc with a couple archers and a level 2 Dark Ranger? He's going to push 3, get his panda, and then after creeping some more, he's going to start fighting Fail. Which is perfectly acceptable considering he screwed him out of an expo, and he has expanded towards him and taken his middle expansion. Fail is asking for peace, which of course is fruitless. J33 is going to run away for a little bit, cross-expand, which is good, I guess. With players like Gears in this game, it's not going to necessarily be the best move. I probably would have tried to push out, which is what he does here. Fight the orc. talk a little bit about what Gears is doing. He's at 57 food, uh, fighting Maga all the way down here, having 2 expansions exactly. At this point is absolutely awful. He's building grunts. I think he ends up building more grunts late into the game. I mean, 57 food, 2 expansions here. Magadansky's getting his second up here. Um, yeah, 57 food is really bad. But with that sort of freedom, you're going to want to put up more expansions more quickly. J33 continuing to fight Fail. Gears harassing everyone, which of course is ridiculously stupid and free-for-all, but we won't go there. I already did a little bit, but what are you going to do? Then we have these two are fighting some more. J33's got 3K. Fail's got 1300. With Gears just sort of gets demolished by Megadansky, which is basically what you'd expect with that kind of macro and micro and army comp. So Gears is going to try to rebuild here, which he does. And Fail is fighting J33 some more. He's catching up in gold. He's been under 50. J33 fighting to his best ability. Maga doing his best to expand here. He's getting up 5 expos. He's getting lots of gold. He's trying to finish Gears before they stop fighting. And here, J33... J33 has 5,000 gold, and he says, okay, please don't kill me. And let's see what happens here. The orc goes away. The orc goes away. You have 5,000 gold, and an operating expansion, and you're under 50, and your heroes aren't that bad. I mean, why did the orc leave? Let's think. The orc must be getting hit by somebody else. You're putting an expansion up here, which is fine. You're not in the best position, but what he ends up doing here is finishing himself. 5,000 gold is not that bad. I mean, I've played games and I've seen Renaud and other elves play games where in a position like this, they'll get their Moonwells back up to 100, mine as much as they can at 50, and then hide 100 chims in the corner. And then when these guys are finished basing one another, slowly but surely, 2 hours later, you've been sitting there with chims in the corner. Not that this is a surefire win, but, you know, you swoop in and kill Magadansky's last 3 buildings right after he finishes one of these 2 orcs. It's free win. There you go. It does take oversight from the other players, but some of these players are new. And there's really no reason to kill yourself. So, when you're dead, see, go J3, 100k gold. Renaud knows. He's done this shit all the time. Constantly. It's one of Renaud's token plays. Get this expansion up. Orc fighting orc. I mean, this is just retarded, by the way. Magadansky's at 80 with 5 mines, and these orcs are fighting. Like, that. This is pathetic. Um, absolutely pitiful. Magadansky's just chipping away at these orcs, and it's not until they're basically dead that Fail convinces Gears to go against Magadansky. He's trying to fight Maga, and Gears ends up hitting him, and then they just sort of die. J33 up to 8, almost 8k, and he's just like, this time kill everything. He's coming in here trying to finish him off. I mean, he probably could have pumped or tried to defend, but Maga comes in here and saves him. He's got 10k gold. 10k. That's plenty. Building up his chims, doing what he should, but he's just like, I should kill. He starts killing his own buildings. I don't get it. I don't get it one bit. Magadansky up to 16k, showing why he knows the most about free-for-all. And, yeah. J33 dies without trying to rebuild at all. Yeah, Gears has almost 8k, and Fail has almost 8k. Magadansky has 1600. At this point, if the orcs focused all their attention on Maga, like they should, they had a chance at winning. Fail is coming in here, laying into Maga's base, which is fine. That's all good. Gears is sitting at 83 like a tard. Hate to see it. And now he's going and attacking Fail for whatever reason. Maga just gets more gold. All the gold. All the gold he wants. And we have fucking Gears coming in here, wasting all his gold fighting the orc. Yeah, there's nothing doing. Maga's just running around at 80 food, watching, waiting, letting these two kill each other. I mean, Fail's in a tough position because Gears is just attacking him, um, laying into his base. I mean, he could try to convince him to go Maga, but as far as he can tell, this player has no intention of stopping. Um, so what's he gonna do? They fight some more. And then Maga finally starts getting teamed now that they're down to 1.7k and 2.7k. But, you know, Magadansky, once given this kind of lead, is not the kind of player to give it up. Even if he is slightly rusty, he's just, he's the juggernaut, bitch. What are you gonna do? And this Tauren army is coming in here. Gears finally under 80, mining correctly. It's good. We like seeing that. Magadansky still under 80, 2v1ing people. Love to see it. Skill play. Fail. Basically dead. Maga gonna try and finish off the weaker orc first, which he does. Gears. Yeah, there's really nothing left to say about this game. The two orcs did not team the strongest player and threw their chances, and Maga is a rich bastard with a free win, basically. Not that he didn't play it correctly. I have nothing but respect for Magadansky, but, just, what are you going to do? The other two players gave you a win, and you're not going to give it up. Lol, dude, you give free wins. It really does. I haven't seen anything promising about Gears. It does not look like he's trying to learn free-for-all, even a little bit, which is a shame. Just sort of hits whoever he wants and doesn't really think about it, or so it seems, and gives free wins. But yeah, that's exactly what happens. There's really nothing else to say about the game. It wasn't excellent. Which one did I want to do next? I don't really want to talk about the game that I was in because I made fucking terrible mistakes. So let's talk about the one where somebody disconnected. Okie dokie. In this game, we had Wan, Ugalainen, Mog, Skynet, and who guess? We had double surround. Let's talk about double surround for a second here. Mog's on the outside. He's going to want to expand and watch out for Ugri. Ugri's going to want to push out to Mog to open up this side. Same on the other side. Wan's going to want to expand down here. Watch out for Huges to break out on him. Who's going to want to break out on him? Sort of self-explanatory. Ugri and Huges are going to want to split the middle mines, and Mog's going to most likely either want to take this and early aggression on Ugri, or just expand down and feign peace, let Ugri take this, and then, fight him late game with better army, which is probably what Mog would do. I can't remember exactly how this game ends. Or I know how it ends, but I can't remember exactly how it goes. I did not spend as much time watching this one. But yeah, that's sort of what you want to do. It's what you'd expect from these positions. Double surround is always the hardest. But it's also the most predictable. In a single surround, you're not sure which person that center surround guy is going to want to break out on, or if he's even going to want to break out at all. He might just cross expand. It's a little harder to double cross. It's a little hard to cross expand with double surround because there's more competition for these mines over here. So, yeah, we see Mog expand to the right, Ugri expand close towards Mog, indicating he's fighting. He's building a Beastmaster. Um, I, yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that. That's bad. Um, Huges expanding towards Wan, Wan expanding down, which is sort of what you would expect here. Ugri and Huges is probably going to take this middle mine here, but Huges, I forget who takes this one here. But Ugri is cross creeping, which is fine, and he's not going to engage with Wan, who would. Got some excellent creeping here from Mog, which is great. Huges and Ugri splitting the middle mines, like I said. Mog expanding very aggressively down. He's already got 5 mines, which is a ton. Wan holding 3. Fighting Huges, I guess, a little bit here. Huges, I guess. Nobody's taking this mine. If I were in Ugri's position or Huges's position, I mean, I guess maybe they don't want to entice the other their inside neighbor to hit them, which is I don't know. This gold could really help one of them on their breakout. But anyway, back to this. Mog, Wan fighting Huges, who has no wood, which is not good. But he's going to build tanks, and Wan hadn't figured out how to fight tanks yet, so that's sort of how that goes. But he is dominating these early fights here. And Mog and Ugri are fighting. Mog is building a lore army for the meantime to fight, but he has a super big gold advantage on Ugri with 2k to his 8k. He wins some fights. Sort of even losses here with the gold advantage. He goes 100 to fight him. The tanks come in. The tanks destroy. 80 to 80. 4 mines to 2 at this point. But tanks, yeah, you gotta learn how to fight them. I sure as hell don't know how to fight them. I lost so many games to tanks. Yeah, kill the pally. Persuade. Keeping a low-level paladin is great. Seeing a lot of this combo here lately. I don't know. Panda's okay, but probably better versus elf than versus undead. Mountain King's pretty powerful. Mountain King paladin sort of kills everything. These tanks coming in here. He's got lots of meat wagons, but he's not able to. Yeah, too many wagons. One frosty. Yeah, you really want. I mean, one of the things about tanks that I didn't figure out for a long time, and I think a lot of players don't, is fighting tanks head on is not something that works. Fighting tanks before mass teleport is much easier because the tanks don't just suddenly appear here in a mass number. Um, Keeping positioning on the tanks and catching them out in the open and kiting, coming in, dealing a little damage, running away, kiting in a little damage, running away. You know, with chims, with frost tanks, and undead heroes, he's got the hero advantage. Coming in with some gargs, focusing something, stone forming them. But once the tanks are in your base, you've really delayed too long. You gotta catch them out here. You gotta catch them while they're running away, while they're grouped up and trying to move from position to position. Undead always focuses the heroes first. With their nuking abilities, they always focus. Elf is going to try to focus down a tank run, a tank run, a tank run. Got good staffing, can help you from losing too many chims. And Orc, what does Orc do? Orc just sort of kills everything. So let's go on. Now Wan here is begging for, not begging, but asking for help on the human here. Wow, is that it? Oh no, okay. And Mog is finishing off Ugri. Really here in a position like this, I guess Huges is trying to force a 1v1 versus the elf. Elf has a hard time with humans, so logical enough, but come on, guys. Look how many fucking mines he has. So Wan asking for help versus the human in a position like this. I've already seen round 3, so I know he's gotten better at this, but that's the wrong move. You want to convince the human to go the Night Elf. The Night Elf easily has 15k at this point. He does actually have 13.6. And then, for all they know, with the scouting they've done, he could be 50 again because he's already finished cleaning up Ugri. Um, so yeah, wrong manip. He learns. The chat needs to be stop attacking me. Go get this elf with all that gold. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it looks like it's a free win for the elf, which it would have been. Um, he just finishes off Ugri. They keep fighting. Now, see, he says we have to stop here. Stop denying my expand. He finally says the right thing. To go fight Mog. Comes in, kills an expansion. Huges comes in with these tanks. It's looking a little bit like 3v1 pretty soon. Ugri's trying to stay alive, but yeah, that's not happening. Wen took out 2 expos. Mog is trying to do some counter manip. He's got a lot of wagons here. Needs some more air. 20k for Mog. He's gonna chat him up. Wen's 80 with 5k, 5k, 20k. Could have sworn Mog and Wen fought too far here. What happens? I think Mog just drops here. Is this the point at which he dropped? Oh yeah, he starts trolling about tanks and complaining about tanks and comes in here, and so he comes in here and fights some more. And Mog's just like, well, okay, I'll get even more gold, which is exactly what you'd want to do. I heard chat. I saw a discussion after this game saying that Mog could have won before he disconnects. He disconnects in the next couple minutes here, which of course ruins the game and learning experience for everyone. But these two are fighting. Um, People said that Mog probably could have aggressed like around here, but that's not true. And anybody that said that is wrong. Because 20k is a lot of gold, but tanks plus high level undead heroes, you forget it. Elf's just gonna die. Elf needs to hold on to his gold and wait and be patient. And that's exactly what he does. And that is good play. Mog, you played smart. Good boy. So yeah, they just sort of keep going and use all their gold. Wen down to 4k with 80 food and 100 with 8k. Who guess has the tanks? Yeah. Persuade's talking about armor upgrades, pretty important versus tanks. Who guess? Looks like he's making his move here. Mog's coming in, fighting, finishing off Wan's heroes. He's low, and Wan is basically dead here. So this is the right time for Mog to move in. And it looks like they're just about to start. They're just about to start teaming him before he disconnects. Wan no gold, dead, not a problem. And yeah, in Mog's position, 21k, force a 1v1, finish the weaker player. Perfect, excellent play, exactly what you want. TP's here. He has really a lousy fight here, which is not good. But he does manage to force a TP, which is fine. He has lots of chim roosts and lots of production buildings, which is exactly what you want. He has sort of a nice base here. He's got his ancients in the front. Wan is completely broke, so not a threat in any way. And he's going to fight the human. And we're going to have some good fights. Some good fights. Good fights. We like it. Bashing humans' faces in. Always fun. Like this. Wen has an army, which is nice. And he decides to... I think he just killed off some peasants. It's not good. I don't like that. He's trying to get his goal back up, which is good. He's 80, which is... In this position, I'd sort of let these two fight. Go 50, probably. But... Mog continuing to demolish the human player, which everybody loves to see. It's down 5k. Mog coming in here to try to finish the weakest, which is exactly what you want to do. He has a bad fight. Oh, sorry. He disconnects and dies. So yeah. Wan's like, well, shit, I have 100 gold. I was counting on teaming Mog for a while and not getting finished off by mass tanks, but that's exactly what happens, and boo-hoo. Disconnects, ruins games. I guess this GX proxy, whatever that thing is. Make some goals! Yerp. And we're gonna see who guess win with like second or third or something in score, I think. But mass TP is so strong. Look at the goals. Yep, third in score. Mog gets a nice 11 points for his disconnect. You know, sort of what it is. Okay, I guess I'll go on to talk about the last one. The last one I played in, and I am not especially proud of how I played, but we'll do it anyway. F7. So, this was supposed to be Sexy, Lightweight, Svedrico, and SK2 Flash, which Svedrico couldn't make it, so I was available and decided to play. Let's talk about these positions. Moderately even, Sexy and Lightweight are next to one another. SK and myself are one spawn apart. Sexy is going to expand down here. I'm going to expand down here. Lightweight's going to expand up here. And Flash is going to want to expand like this. Middle expos could go to anybody. Most likely either Sexy or Lightweight. In this position, there are generally two things that are going to happen. Either Redkeekee and SK2 Flash are going to be peaceful neighbors, share these expansions, and then the two elves are going to fight over these far expansions, and then the human and the undead will expand and fight over these expansions, or the neighbors will fight. And what we end up seeing is neighbor fighting, most likely because of race. Lightweight's going to love to fight a human. Lightweight's playing human's going to love to fight an elf, and myself, I love to fight me an undead because undead versus elf is a fucking joke. So that's what happens. Lightweight is winning his fight against Sexy. I'm winning my fight against SK2 Flash more quickly, and then the three-way ensues. Let's jump into it. I do sort of a greedy expand, but we don't have to talk about me at all. Let's talk about somebody else. We're going to get Dark Ranger first from Sexy, and we're going to get Pandaren Brewmaster first from me, DK, and we're going to get AM, of course. Lightweight's going to expand towards Sexy. That would indicate that he's probably going to aggress against the elf. I expend both ways. SK2 is creeping this stuff first. Might want to get an earlier expand. I don't know. That's alright. That's fine. Then Sexy expand down here pretty aggressively, which is fine. I'm given to understand that he misclicked and selected the wrong skill, and that's why his creeping was slower. But yeah. Oh well. Boo friggin' who. Then we have... Yeah, they were saying I got crappy items, which I did, but whatever. I choose not to fight him here. SK and Human fight over here a little bit. They compete for this, which is fine. And the expansions look like 3 mines for Lightweight, 4 mines for Sexy, 3 mines for me, and 3 mines for SK2. At this point, we're at the 9.5 minute mark. Everybody is still at 50, which is what you would expect to see. 10-minute mark. And I'm at 4K. SK is at 1.6. Lightweight's getting his 4th mine up at 2K, and Sexy is at 1200. I am getting an L on SK2. Lightweight is going to break soon. Just going to break on Sexy. I'm going to break on SK2. I don't have enough Moonwells because I'm bad. I put this expansion up way too late. Sexy's going to put this up later, I guess. Takes the middle expansion. Nobody takes this expansion. I probably could have used a few more mines here, but what are you going to do? And then Sexy and Lightweight fight. We see some tank action. Lots of AOWs here. Like to see that. It's good. He's going to try to take out this expansion here. He's going to teleport in with basically nothing, but not be punished for it. I'm going to come in here and try to fight the undead at 80 and then decide to break to 100 anyway. And SK2 is going to defend the first push and then die against the second one. Lightweight decides to go 100, as does Sexy. Everybody's 100. Exciting. Woohoo! And they fight sort of evenly for a little while. SK2 pushes me back on my expands. I know that I have to go to his base because his army's faster, and I just sort of roll over him because Undead versus Night Elf, as I said, is a joke. So he leaves. Here, from SK2, more experienced players, more experienced free-for-all players, I generally don't see leave immediately. There is a low chance, there is not a very high chance that I'm going to be able to, not going to be able to finish him with as few buildings as he has. But, delaying, leaving as soon as you lose your army is respectable. But you'll see Magadansky and Ugri and Renaud and everybody try to rebuild, cry, get these players to come and try and save him, which they usually don't, and then they die. But it does put a dent in the player that tried to finish you. Which, but if they do come save you, then you're alive, and that's good. But leaving immediately, pseudo mistake, but most likely these two are going to fight anyway. Lightweight wants to kill Sexy, comes in with all these tanks, tankaroos, and Sexy is crying for me to help him, which I inevitably do because the human is in the best position right here. I am expanding aggressively now that I have no opponent. I come over here, I debate whether or not to fight Sexy or Still no mass TP, which is good for us. Sexy. I decide to fight the human pretty soon, and Sexy goes 50, which is understandable. Good move. He's going to kill off this so that he can expand here. Lightweight 80, me 80, Sexy 80, everybody's 80. He wants to take this expand from me. I say no, and then I sense that they're going to 2v1 me, so I let him have it. Lightweight fights me. Lightweight 13k, RKK 13k, Sexy 7k. Got a pig in this base and a pig in this base, which I then later notice, but Sexy doesn't and gets mass TP'd as soon as level 6 for the Archmage comes. We get some good fights. And now that we're fighting, Sexy's gonna fight. Still more 80 battles. And Sexy's gonna try to have a fight here where he can lose a lot. so that he can go 50 now that we are fighting. I do a lot of fighting with these tanks here and try not to lose too many chims, which I do a decent job at. I'm at 18k, Wade's at 18k, Sexy's at 11. Sexy comes down here to fight me, kills my expansion. I'm down to 1 mine, 0 mines, and Lightweight says none of us can 2v1, which is true, sort of. But yeah, Sexy accidentally goes over 80 here, but he fixes it. And I'm stuck at 14k with no mines. They agree to give me mines, which is good. And Lightweight's 20k, Sexy's at 16. He fights the human here, and then this pretty smart move from Sexy comes in here. He loses a bunch, and then he tells, I think he tells me to go him, or he just notices that I do. These critters are coming out now that he has mass teleport. I think he has mass teleport.